Let me describe the perfect crime. No weapons, no masks, no getaway car. Completely legal. And the victims? They thank you afterwards. Here's how it works. You wait for someone to be at their most vulnerable. Maybe they're unconscious. Maybe they're in pain. Maybe they're terrified because something's wrong with their kid. And in that exact moment, when they have zero negotiating power, when saying no isn't even an option, you hand them a bill they'll be paying off for the next decade. You don't even tell them the price up front. That's the beauty of it. They find out weeks later, when it's already done. And if they complain, you just point to the paperwork they signed while they were bleeding. No police report, no investigation, no one goes to jail. This isn't a movie pitch. This is Tuesday in America. I'm not here to get political. I'm not here to debate policy. I'm here because this is the single biggest threat to your financial future that nobody in the finance world wants to talk about. Your favorite guru will spend an hour teaching you about index funds, about compound interest, about cutting subscriptions and investing the difference. But they won't spend 5 minutes on the fact that one bad afternoon can erase decades of perfect financial decisions. And here's the thing people get wrong. They think this is a healthcare issue, something for politicians to argue about. Nah, this is a money issue, your money, and the fact that it's treated as anything else is exactly how they want it. Look, nothing I'm about to share is financial advice or a recommendation. I'm not telling you what to do with your portfolio. What I am doing is pulling back the curtain on a system that most people don't understand until it's way too late. And understanding how the game works? That's the first step to not getting destroyed by it. I'm Dom. I've spent years digging into how wealth actually moves in this country, not the theory. The mechanics. How regular people build it, and more importantly, how it disappears overnight. This topic right here changed everything for me. If you want to understand what 90% of Americans figure out only after it's too late, stick around. And if that sounds like something worth knowing, hit subscribe. Because this is the kind of stuff I break down regularly, and I genuinely think it can shift how you see your entire financial picture. Let's get into it. So picture this. Sarah and Mike, married, mid-30s, 2 kids. They did everything by the book. Emergency fund with 6 months of expenses, maxing their retirement accounts, no credit card debt, bought a reasonable house they could actually afford. They're the poster children for financial responsibility. Then Mike starts getting these headaches, bad ones. Goes to the doctor, gets some tests, and boom, they find something. Now he needs surgery, treatment, the whole thing. Here's where it gets interesting. They have insurance. Good insurance, actually. The kind you pay $400 a month for. The kind that makes you feel safe. But then the bills start coming. The deductible, $5,000 right off the top. Then the coinsurance, where they pay 20% of everything. Then they find out the anesthesiologist during Mike's surgery, out of network. That's another $8,000. Oh, and that specialist they saw, also out of network. The hospital was covered, but the doctors inside it weren't. 6 months later, Sarah and Mike have burned through their emergency fund, cashed out part of their retirement with penalties, and they're still getting bills in the mail. They're now $30,000 in debt. Their credit score tanked. The house they worked so hard for? They're thinking about selling it. And Mike? He's fine now. He recovered. But their finances didn't. This isn't a rare story. This is the story. This is happening to people every single day in this country. And the crazy part? Most of them had insurance. Most of them thought they were protected. Let me give you some numbers that should make you uncomfortable. 66.5% of all bankruptcies in America are tied to medical expenses. That's not a typo. 2/3. And here's the kicker. Most of those people had health insurance when they got sick. The average American has about $4,500 in savings. $4,500. You know what 3 days in a hospital costs? $30,000 on average. You see the problem here? An appendectomy, which is about as routine as surgery gets, costs $33,000. Breaking your arm? That can run you anywhere from $7,000 to $35,000 depending on how bad it is. Having a baby? $18,000 average, and even with insurance, you're still paying around $3,000 out of pocket. Oh, and that ambulance ride? The one you call when you're literally dying? That's $1,200 to $2,500. And here's the fun part. A lot of insurance plans don't even cover it. So you've got 40% of Americans who can't cover a $400 emergency. And the average medical emergency costs tens of thousands. The math doesn't math. It literally cannot work. Now, I know what some people are thinking. This is just how healthcare is. It's expensive everywhere. Medicine is complicated. Doctors deserve to get paid. Sure, all true. But let me show you something that completely changed my perspective. That same appendectomy that costs $33,000 here, in Spain, it's $3,000. Same procedure, same outcome, a tenth of the price. An MRI in America averages $2,600. In Australia, $215. Same machine, same images, same radiologist reading the results. Insulin, the stuff that diabetics literally need to survive. In America, you're paying $300+ a month. In Canada, $30. Same insulin, made by the same companies. Having a baby in most developed countries costs somewhere between $0 and $2,000. Here, it's 18 grand. Same baby, same process, same screaming. And here's what really got me. The United States spends more on healthcare than any other country on Earth. We spend 17.8% of our entire GDP on this. That's almost a fifth of everything our economy produces goes to healthcare. So, we pay the most. We must be the healthiest, right? We must live the longest? Nope. Our life expectancy is 77 years. Cuba beats us. Chile beats us. Costa Rica beats us. Countries that spend a fraction of what we spend have people living longer than we do. It's like paying $500 for a pizza that every other restaurant sells for $50. And when your pizza finally arrives, it's cold and missing half the toppings. But hey, at least you paid more for it. So, what's going on here? Why is it like this? This is where it gets real. And I'm not going to get political on you because, honestly, both sides have had chances to fix this, and neither really has. This isn't about red versus blue. This is about green. Money. First thing you need to understand, hospitals in America operate as businesses, not as services. Their job isn't to make you healthy. Their job is to make money. Making you healthy is just how they do it. Every hospital has something called a charge master. It's basically their secret price list. And I say secret because good luck finding it. The same exact procedure can cost 10 times more at one hospital versus another one 5 miles away. There's no logic to it. There's no regulation. It's whatever they feel like charging. Second thing, insurance companies. Think about what they actually do. They collect money from you every month. Then when you need care, their entire business model is to pay out as little as possible. That's how they make profit. By denying claims, by finding loopholes, by making the process so confusing that people just give up. The CEO of United Health made $20 million last year. $20 million. And his company's main job is to stand between you and your doctor and figure out reasons to say no. It's like if there was a guy standing between you and a pizzeria, and you had to pay him $200 a month just for the privilege of maybe being allowed to buy a pizza. And when you finally want one, he goes through a whole process to decide if you really need it. Third thing, pharmaceutical companies. America is the only developed country that doesn't negotiate drug prices. Every other country says, hey, you want to sell your drugs here, this is what we'll pay. We just let them charge whatever they want. The drug companies spend $300 million a year on lobbying. $300 million. Just to keep things exactly the way they are. That's not a healthcare system. That's a business protecting its profits. And here's the part that hits different for people like us. People who actually care about building wealth. You can do everything right. Everything. You can read every finance book, follow every strategy, be disciplined for decades, and one diagnosis, one accident, one bad day can wipe it all out. That's not a financial plan. That's a coin flip. Medical debt is like anti-compound interest. You know how compound interest works for you over time, growing your wealth exponentially? Medical debt compounds against you. It wrecks your credit. It affects your ability to get a mortgage. It follows you everywhere. I've seen couples who had $100 grand invested, good jobs, doing great, cancer diagnosis. 18 months later, zero. Not because they did anything wrong, because the system is designed to extract every dollar it can. And you know what kills me? The same gurus who tell you to skip Starbucks and invest $5 a day never talk about this. They'll spend an hour explaining index funds, but won't spend 5 minutes on the fact that one hospital stay can undo all of it. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. This system isn't broken. It's working exactly as designed. It's just not designed for you and me. It's designed for hospital executives and insurance CEOs and pharmaceutical shareholders. And you can see this in how people actually cope with it. You know what the biggest healthcare funding platform in America is? It's not Medicare. It's not any insurance company. It's GoFundMe. Over $650 million a year gets raised on GoFundMe just for medical bills. We've turned begging strangers on the internet into a healthcare strategy. People take Ubers to the hospital instead of ambulances because ambulances cost $1,500 and Uber costs $12. There's a whole industry of medical tourism now. Americans flying to Mexico or Thailand to get procedures done because it's cheaper to buy a plane ticket, stay in a hotel, get surgery, recover, and fly home than it is to get the same surgery here. People are literally rationing insulin, skipping doses, and some of them are dying because of it. In the richest country in the history of the world. In 2024, when your healthcare strategy is start a GoFundMe or fly to another country, the system isn't broken. It's just not built to help you. So, what do we do with all this? First, stop blaming yourself. Stop accepting this idea that if you just saved more, you'd be fine. The numbers don't work. It's not a personal failing, it's a structural problem. Second, understand what you're actually buying when you buy insurance. Read your plan. Know your deductible. Know your out-of-pocket maximum. Know which hospitals and doctors are in network. This stuff is intentionally confusing, but you need to understand it. Third, know that you can negotiate. 70% of people who negotiate their hospital bills get a reduction. Ask for itemized bills. Question every charge. Hospitals have financial assistance programs they don't advertise. Use them. Fourth, know your rights. The No Surprises Act from 2022 helps protect against some of that out-of-network nonsense. It's not perfect, but it's something. And fifth, stop pretending this isn't a financial issue. It is. It might be the biggest financial issue you'll ever face. Plan for it. Think about it. Factor it into your decisions. Because here's the reality I want you to walk away with today. You're one diagnosis away from losing everything. And no, that's not me being negative. That's not fear-mongering. That's just the math in America right now. The American dream has an asterisk, and that asterisk says only valid if you never get sick. 20 years of savings, 20 years of sacrifice, 20 years of doing everything right. And it can all disappear in one afternoon. Not because you failed, because the system failed you. And until more people understand that, until more people talk about it, until more people demand better, nothing changes. So at minimum, now you know. Now you see it clearly. And knowing is the first step to not being blindsided by it. That's all I got for today. If this helped you see things differently, you know what to do. I'll see you in the next one.